All right, today we're going to talk about the movement west, and we're going to start in what we now know as the state of Texas. And we're going to talk about their revolution for independence. So let's begin with this gentleman right here. General Santa Anna, Antonio de Lopez Santa Anna, was president of Mexico. Mexico had just gained its independence from Spain, and it had a lot of territory that it was going to adopt or inherit from that victory over the Spanish. As the Spanish left, they realized that they were going to have to go occupy this territory in order to control the territory. Well, one such region, as you can see on this map, was this region here, known as Tejas. Replace the X with a J. And the region of Tejas was sparsely populated. There was not a lot of people in this region that were residents of the country of Mexico. So Mexico invited Americans who wanted to buy land to move into Tejas. There were some rules, however. The Americans who moved in had to accept Mexican culture, which in a lot of cases included some practices and ideas of the Roman Catholic Church. Unlike the United States, where there was a lot of religious freedom, Mexico was very devout in its practice of Catholicism. And one such tradition included, in Mexico, not allowing the practice of slavery. Well, several of the people that you had who considered relocating here were from slave states in the United States. So this is going to be an issue. As you can see here on the map, we're going to talk about some of the major battles, but the two that I'm really going to point out are the Battle of the Alamo and then the Battle of San Jacinto. So this gentleman, Sam Houston, former governor of Tennessee, has led himself at this point in his political career to a point where most people just don't have a high opinion of Mr. Houston, especially in Tennessee. So he's decided that he is going to take himself westward and try to turn the new territory of Texas, which is owned by Mexico, into a better Tennessee. He wants to rewrite the pages and try to fix what he found to be the problems with Tennessee in Texas. The only problem is Houston really has a mindset of Texas having its own nation, independent from Mexico and the United States. So we end up with several of these people in Texas, these Americans who have settled in Texas, these Texans, not really abiding by the rules and the laws of Mexico, don't really care about Santa Anna. So Santa Anna feels challenged all the way down to Mexico City. So he decides that he's going to lead his army into Texas as a way to kind of get these Americans who are a part of Mexico now and living in Tejas or Texas to abide by his rules. Here you can see Davy Crockett, a famous Tennessean who was at the Battle of the Alamo. And a lot of history and a lot of the artist depictions of Crockett show him to kind of be a legendary hero. But a lot of history has started to point that Davy Crockett was a simple man who had a great reputation that even Davy Crockett couldn't live up to. So after several battles, the Mexican army and Santa Anna are forced to surrender. Here the artist shows a depiction of Sam Houston resting and relaxing underneath a tree as General Santa Anna signs a treaty giving Texas to the Texans. And it's important to note that Texas did not turn over to the United States, but rather to the Americans who were living in Texas. So you had the equivalent of the American Revolution, where the colonists gained their freedom from the British. Now you had the Texas Revolution, or the Texan Revolution, where the people of Texas fought and gained their independence from Mexico. Next we'll talk about is Manifest Destiny on the next presentation.